Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WiBit.net Programming in C video tutorial series. My name is Kevin, and to my left I have
Brian.
We have gone through, hopefully you have gone through, the Introduction to Programming series. Now we want to take all of that collective wisdom and apply it to the C programming language, and that is our goal with this tutorial series. So Brian, help me get started here. Why learn C? I mean, there's so many languages that we can be learning, like Java, C#. Why learn C?
That's a good question. Most schools won't start you on the C language.
Why?
Now, I have no idea. That's actually a really good question.
Maybe because you only have like 4 years to do it, so they don't want to, whatever.
But what I can say is why we think you should learn C now. And that's because most programming languages that you're going to use, if they're not the C language, they are probably heavily based on the C language. Learning the C language will give you the most versatile, robust, and mobile skill set with which to translate your knowledge into other languages. So once you learn the C language, jumping from C to C++ or C# or PHP or
Java
Perl or even Pascal or whatever it is, will be a much easier transition once you learn the root commonality of all of these languages, which is the C language.
And where they basically all derived from.
Absolutely.
So we're going back in time so that we can move forward.
Also, the C language has been in wide use since its inception. There's still a lot of cases where you would still use the C language today.
Mm-hmm.
It's, as we said before, it's lower level, it's fast, it runs very well, it's very efficient, and some of the new Objective-C and as an object-oriented layer on top of the C language is becoming more modern too. You're also having newer branches off of the C language that are still directly rooted in the C language, not twice or third removed.
So what is C? C actually originated as a Unix programming language. It was developed by those amazing people at Bell Labs that invented so many amazing things that all of us take for granted today. Back in the early 1970s, the main focus of the C language was for pretty much system software, operating systems, drivers, that sort of thing. And it was also designed to be portable. Now, what does that mean? Well, it was a language that was designed for me to take a piece of source code, take it to another machine, and compile it over there. You know, so when I run it, when I have this written, it's not specific for that machine or that architecture. It can go anywhere.
Also, with this language being originally designed for system software development, it's still rare to find a language that is preferred over C in system software development today.
Oh, absolutely.
So a lot of the core code in operating systems and in drivers is still C. Mm-hmm. There's still yet to be a more effective or efficient language to use in the C language.
Well, binary.
Yes,
I have my binary keyboard. It's a 0 and a 1. I mean, real programmers code in binary.
So what are some of the languages that are related to C? So as we were saying, the C language is the root language to a lot of other languages. Some of these other languages you may recognize are C++, Objective-C, Perl, TCL, Tool Command Language, Java, JavaScript, PHP, C#, and many others.
Let's take a look at a simple, basic C program, and let's compare it to some of the top languages today. C++, Objective-C, C#, and Java. At the top here, now don't pay attention to the code. We don't want you to know the language yet, but what I want you to just look at this code right here. Now let's take a look at the same program that does the exact same thing in C++. Kind of looks the same. Now let's look at it in Objective-C. Kind of looks the same. Let's take a look at it in C#. Pretty much. Looks the same. And let's look at our baby Java here. Pretty much the same. So that's what Brian was saying in the way beginning of this, that your skills will translate. Well, you can just take a basic look at this and see why that's the case. You learn C, you can take that skill anywhere, and you can succeed.
So C is a compiled language. Opposed to interpreted language, this code must be converted to a machine code to execute first. You write the code, compile it into an executable, and you run that executable. This provides a very speedy execution.
There are many different standards of C. Well, okay, there's 4 different standards of C that date back to the 70s and also date to a future standard. So depending on when you view this, this is pretty much what's current now. The reason why we wanted to mention this is because a lot of people will actually hear people say, this was written in ANSI C. And when you hear somebody say that, you need to understand what they're talking about. The ANSI C standard is an older standard. The more modern standard is the C99 standard. The ANSI C, I would say, it's the most common found because it was kind of conceived and used around the time when C was in its heyday, when everything was using C. So a lot of stuff is still using the ANSI standard. C99 is the more modern standard that we see today. It made a couple of advancements like adding the Boolean data type, variable length arrays. It was also redone so that it better optimized hardware. And the C1X is a future standard that's not really in use yet, but it will be at some point.